let's just jump right into it to start, Les. I don't know what you're doing with your picks anymore. One minute you're effing them, the next one you're collecting them, and this time around you didn't take a first rounder because you took one in next year's draft. I mean, walk me through that decision. End of the first round, Falcons ring you up, and you got 10 minutes to figure this thing out. Les.
Each of those scenarios are case by case. In this particular draft, though, based on probably whether we were a little more specific in terms of probably positions we were looking for, players we were looking for, even our needs. We did feel like there was a possibility, good probability, we might trade back at 26 based on the way the draft may go. That did come to fruition. What we probably weren't planning for was we felt like, okay, there's a chance we're going to move back, collect some more picks in this year's draft with teams. But when Atlanta came calling for a future one, we felt like it was better for us at this particular moment to delay the gratification. We somewhat passed the marshmallow test. And take a pick in the next year's draft and still trade back.
So, again, everybody's going to be sitting here starting to think that you've already identified somebody in next year's draft that you want to save your powder for. Is that a fair assumption, Les?
Right on now? Speculation for the next 364, 63, 62 days. If I knew who was coming out in the draft, that would help. That's always based on all that's going on in college football. Probably a little tougher to predict who might or might not come back or who may stay for next year based on the NIL and those players being able to get paid. So that's still to be determined.
Well, what's the number of days, Chris? You've already figured that out?
Next year's first round is April 23rd in Pittsburgh, so we're 358 days.
There you go, 358 days, Les. So you could keep track of the number of days that we're going to keep talking about it in the media. You know what I mean? Just giving you,
I understand
that information. Well, because
good content, right? Hopefully it's interesting.
Thank you very much for you. You understand, I am a content searcher. But in all honesty, Les, I mean, so many Rams fans are white knuckling the quarterback situation is seemingly like on an annual basis, and this might be something that you have in your back pocket in case it's another white knuckler next year. I mean, what can you tell us on that front about Stafford?
I think it's been clear. Matthew's obviously we call it the back nine of his career. How many years he goes? We hope it's more than let's call it more than less. But we've all talked about it, so we know that his era is coming to an end. But I would say this: priority number one is making the most of the Matthew Stafford era. Why wouldn't you? That's why you want a quarterback of his caliber, right? You want to make the most of that era, whatever that may be. But we're also well aware that there is a future without Matthew, and how we navigate that one, is to be determined case by case. But we're aware of both scenarios.
So
they're going on simultaneously.
Right. So the Matthew now era, does that lead to Terrance Ferguson in the second round for you, Les?
Definitely. It didn't. The answer would be yes. We definitely felt like, and I think Terrance will also, let's call it, there's a good possibility that he's the heir apparent to Tyler Higbee whenever Tyler's career is over. So there's an element of now, and then there's also an element of future with Terrance as well.
And then the running back room, you added a kid from your alma mater, Jarquez Hunter. How do you see the running back?
And he doesn't play basketball. Isn't that,
How about that?
I mean, we're a basketball school now. Rich.
I'm aware of that. I noticed that for sure. And
I think maybe we did beat Michigan.
Yeah, I know. You did beat Michigan. Can confirm, Les. You also drafted a Chris Paul, so maybe you got basketball on the brain. But that's for another day. What do you see in this kid Hunter? And what you can expect?
Being an Auburn fan, he was, just as from a fan's perspective, from the time he got there to now, he's just been a fun player to watch in terms of just how he runs his running style. He's one of those guys that ignites a crowd, ignites an audience, the way he breaks tackles. He runs with joy. And then if he does break those tackles, he has the ability to, to hit a double, triple, take it the distance. So we do think the way this NFL season's going, the amount of wear and tear that goes into playing running back, that having a committee with different skill sets only helps us continue being able to run the football like we want to run it.
Yeah, I mean, he's fourth on the all-time Auburn rushing list behind guys named Bo Jackson, Cadillac Williams, and James Brooks. I've heard of them. So
that's a great list.
Yeah, man.
I like
got
that
stats.
James Brooks pops in there. That's a classic.
That is
He's pre-Bo Jackson.
But is it, and that's pre-Les Snead, correct? As well?
Very pre-Les
Okay,
Snead.
just
I
wanna
was
make sure.
probably in middle school or maybe even elementary school
wanna
pulling
make
for
sure.
James Brooks.
Just want to make sure, you are younger than you look. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.